Hello ladies, today we're going to be talking about some unelegant behavior that a lot of people are doing, and this is specifically in regards to their body, whether this is online or in person. I'm just going to cover some things. You might be surprised at what I have to say, especially with the last reason. If you stick around, it might be a little harsh, but you know what? It's the truth. So let's just get straight into it then. And by the way, my name is Karina. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, I make videos about money, women, and power, just so women can become the best version of themselves and maybe even talk about topics that are a little bit uncomfortable to talk about, okay? Such as today. We're really gonna get into this. And what I wanna say is, I know times are changing. There's more freedom, there's more acceptance of pretty much everything, and while I am hugely in favor of that, I do believe that sometimes things go over the top, and a lot of the times those things don't necessarily serve the female. And I believe all of these things I'm going to mention does not serve the female, and I want the female to be served, and that is why I'm making this video. Some people really take it to the next level, really take it to the extreme, and I really don't think any of these is appropriate elegant behavior. And you know, to each their own. You can do whatever you want. It is your life. But I guess the question is, what is the end result? What is the goal? What am I trying to put into my life? And are the things I'm doing putting those things in my life? Because a lot of these things attract the wrong type of crowd and attract the wrong type of attention. So let's get to these things, okay? The first one is posting photos in lingerie. I understand there are markets for this, and I'm not talking about the markets of Victoria's Secret or La Perla, companies that are literally built for the sole purpose of selling lingerie, underwear, bikinis, whatever it may be, to their target audience, which is females, okay? I'm talking about people taking mirror photos with their iPhone or hiring someone who knows how to somewhat operate a camera to take very extremely provocative photos of them for the sole purpose of putting them online. I really don't see any class or any elegance with that. No matter how good you think the picture might look, I just don't think it's appropriate to be shared with millions of people that can just access your profile and see those videos at any given time or photos. It just shows a lack of class. It shows that the person is almost desperate and trying to seek validation from just their sole appearance alone, almost as there is not really any other value that they can add. And that's kind of how it's perceived. And again, there's a really fine line between doing it professionally, and I don't mean hiring someone that knows how to operate a camera. I mean actually working for a company, actually working for an agency, and kind of doing a campaign with that in mind versus just taking photos, right? Because companies, they're still very tastefully done. If you look at the Victoria's Secret angels, they're very sexy, but they're very classy at the same time. Everything is composed in a very more so classy way, even though it's a little bit sexy, but it's not so raunchy. It's not with the purpose of just getting attention from random males for the sole purpose of I'm trying to get validation, right? Those girls get literally paid millions of dollars to get shoot for those campaigns, and it's done very differently, and it's posted very differently. And it's actually quite interesting if you actually pay attention to a lot of the professional models. They don't even post that type of content on their page. Like, sure, they'll have a sexy photo, but it's nowhere near what females these days are posting on Instagram. It's almost like they're trying to live up to that kind of vibe, and I totally understand it, because nowadays in 2020 it's become so normalized to do these types of behaviors just to seek attention. And that's why I say this quite frequently in my video. Things are changing, not in the woman's favor, and I almost don't blame them, because it's so common that people are tempted to do this because they think they're going to get more attention, because females that are you know, just dressed normally, they don't feel like they get the same attention. But trust me, there's so much more value that you can add than just posting those types of photos, and I would just completely stay away from that, to be completely honest, if you're trying to go for the elegant, classy vibe, which I think you probably should be going for. The second thing kind of is very similar, but it's still different. So it's posting sexy lingerie photos, and I don't mean photos of you on the beach on vacation and just very nicely and kind of artistically done. I mean just photos in just way provocative in bikinis that don't actually look like bikinis, bathing suits that probably are even sexier than lingerie, and just specifically poses, right? Specifically those types of kind of a raunchy, too sexy, very inappropriate posing where it just looks like attention is being sought. And it goes back to the exact same scenario of the exact same point of who are you trying to attract? What are you getting out of posting these things? Yeah, you look great. You look great in those photos. You look great with your body and you should be proud of it, but showing that off is showing something else. It's showing more than you think. It's showing the fact that you are seeking for attention, seeking for validation. It's showing lack of confidence and needing attention to feed you from other people. And if you are in that state of mind, then posting infinite amount of those pictures is not going to change it. In that case, focus needs to be diverted in a different way to kind of fix the mindset of what am I trying to achieve. So that's that, okay? The third thing that's very unelegant behavior, and this is not so much body related, but that's being very loud and being an attention seeker. And that goes into a lot of things. That could be you're talking loudly, you're using, you're not well spoken, so language that's such as chat speak and in verbalize like OMG and just, oh, it's almost like nails on a chalkboard for me when I see this on social media or in person, when females that are clearly grown women that clearly have like a lot to offer in life just speak very purposely, obnoxiously loud on purpose, just for the sole purpose of getting attention. And I just don't think that's also elegant behavior whatsoever. The fourth thing is, this is also in relation to your body and social media, and that's just over filtering your face and basically taking your iPhone and just doing this to it all day long. Okay, that's not elegant behavior, ladies, not even close. It's, again, nails on a chalkboard situation. I don't understand how people enjoy watching that type of content on pretty much anywhere, on Instagram, especially Instagram stories. You see this, the heavily filtered Instagram that doesn't even look like the person and just making weird faces at the camera pretty much every single story, or taking flaunty photos and just posting it. I just think opposite to elegance, that just shows a lot of immaturity, and people do this of all ages. And I understand the filters are cool, it's nice if you have a good makeup day, you want to look at yourself, but if that's all that the person is doing, again, it really devalues the female. I mean, it really just shows that looks is the only thing that should be focused on. That's the thing that's centered around. And if you pay attention to most Instagrams these days, that's a female specifically, that's essentially all it is them making poses, making faces, just flaunting their body assets. And I understand why, because that's how most of Instagram is. And if you do something that's kind of not that, it looks strange. It looks like maybe I'm not posting a photo sexy enough. Maybe people just want to see my face. But if we are doing that, if we as females, if that's the only thing we're doing, then honestly it just feeds into this thing, and it's not doing us any service and any favors. It's not doing us any favors in increasing our perceived intelligence or our actual intelligence, or it's really not attracting the right type of people into our life, whether it's our friends, job opportunities, or even partners. Because if that's all a female is doing, which is posting provocative photos, making faces at the camera, she's not going to be taken seriously. I mean, I'm sure she has so much intelligence and so many accomplishments that she could be putting out there and really spreading a positive message, not just for other females her age, older, but even the younger generation that is going on Instagram and looking at this. I just think it really gives a wrong perception for females, okay? And now we're on to the last one, and that is the one I mentioned at the beginning. Maybe you might be surprised, but this is definitely the furthest thing from elegant behavior, especially for a female, and it does not serve her at all, and that is having one-night stands and essentially giving up all of everything she has to a man that she barely knows, to one who hasn't really done much for her, hasn't really shown much interest besides the fact that he likes her physical appearance, and just, you know what, just getting it done. That is the furthest thing from elegance, and it does not serve any woman to do this. I know there's different opinions about this. Maybe people disagree with me that it's 2020, everyone just wants, you know, the physical aspect, but to be honest, there's really no value from that. You're not an animal. You don't need that to feel validated. You don't need it to feel special. If you do that with a lot of people, I mean, that just shows kind of a weakness and just those primitive instincts that is all that a person is after. And there's just so much more value that you have, and there's so much, I believe there's so much more a man needs to do for you to even consider sharing that part of your life with him. And if you're meeting him for the first time or a couple of times, I highly doubt that he has met those standards. So, and honestly, like, the future with that is probably going to be very slim. And again, it's just devaluing, whether you like to admit it or not. It really does devalue the person. So that's going to be it for this video. Do like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video.